Okay, let's move on to the next topic, participant understanding. Well, we've talked a lot about the kinds of information you have to give your participants, but what do you do if they just don't get it? What can you do to make them understand? Do you ever read the consent form to them word for word?
No, that would definitely put them to sleep. And it wouldn't help their understanding, especially the really long ones.
The 25 pages.
The consent form is a tool, a resource for the participant and for me. It has all the information I need to share with the participant. But the informed consent is a conversation, a two-way street.
So, how do you know if the person understands what they're signing up for?
Well, I usually go over all of the key elements. And then I ask the person questions like, do you know how many times you'll have to come to the testing center? Things like that.
Maybe like a quiz?
No, not so formal as a quiz. I just want to make sure that they have an understanding or that I know what other information I might have to cover with them. But I make sure I know the study backwards and forwards before I go out and start the informed consent process.
And you have to be ready for any questions. You don't want to make it seem like you don't know the details of a study that you're trying to explain to somebody else.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to find the different pieces of information on that form quickly. I like to point to the different sections and explain it more in a conversational style. That helps people understand, and it helps me to know that I've hit all of the highlights.
You know, I really do try to take my cues from the people I'm speaking with. You know, are they reading along? Are they repeating things back to me, asking questions? Just like in any conversation, it lets you know if they're paying attention, if they're getting it.
I remember speaking with a gentleman, and he got really uncomfortable the second I handed him the consent package. We were recruiting older adults, and I remembered in our training we had talked about the possibility that some of these people might not be able to read. But I wasn't entirely prepared to address the situation if it actually happened, so I had to think on my feet. Okay, let's move on to the participation requirements. As you can see in this particular study, so it's actually this one.
Yeah, thanks.
You have to be at the community center.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this print is really, really small. And, you know, I didn't know I had to go over form. I would have brought my glasses. And
Yes, the type is small. You know what? You don't have to read it right now.
no?
No, I can go through everything with you here, and then you can bring all of this information home with you and review it at home.
Great.
Okay, good. So I'll go through everything with you here.
Okay.
Then you can bring it home, review it, discuss your participation with a family member, and think about it for a few days.
I'd really like my daughter to read it and go over it with me, and so I really understand, you know, what this is all about. It's a big decision.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. It's a fairly big commitment. You should definitely get another person's perspective.
Yeah, that would make me feel a lot better.
Good. Okay. Well, I'll go through everything, then you take it home, review the information, discuss it with your daughter, and I'll give you a call in a couple of days.
Great, thanks.
Okay, good. Let me go over the purpose of the study with you. Okay, we'll start at the beginning. He took the forms home and talked everything over with his daughter and decided to participate in the study. And so then when I talked to him after that, I felt confident that he understood all of the risks and the benefits. So even though he couldn't read, didn't mean he couldn't understand, and everything worked out.
Although, even when you think you do a great job explaining, there are always certain things in research that some people have a hard time understanding.
Yeah, like if participation involves anything having to do with medical tests or visits to a clinic or medical center. I can't tell you how many times I've had to explain to people that this isn't a free doctor's visit and this isn't free medical care. But people really need to understand that, otherwise they feel tricked or worse.
See how that can happen, because I've been doing this for a long time, and I still see that some people don't know what research is.
Or even what a survey is.
I always try to imagine that I'm talking to my own parents, or my grandparents, my brother, my niece. What would I want to make sure they knew about this research study before saying yes or no? What kind of questions might they have? What might they have had a hard time understanding? How might they feel about being asked to share certain kinds of information?
This is good. This is really good. Let's take a break, and we'll come back with the last segment, okay?